Welcome to the Lawyers and Mediators International Show and Podcast, where we discuss law and conflict resolution topics to educate both professionals and everyday people. Catch regular episodes on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. Just remember, nothing in these episodes constitutes legal advice, so be sure to talk to a lawyer, as cases are fact-dependent. Hey everyone, welcome back to LMI Podcast, where we talk about law and conflict resolution topics to educate both professionals and everyday people, lawyers, mediators, international. And so today we are here to talk with Dr. Alberto Elisavetsky. He is a non-lawyer mediator trainer who is a guru on all things AI and conflict resolution and ODR, especially in Latin America. And so, Alberto, how are you doing today?
Fine, Mark. I'm very happy to be here and share a few time with your audience talking about online dispute resolution and Latin America.
Yes, thank you. And so the secret between us is that I've been wanting to have you on this podcast for years. And I first learned about you from Daniel Rainey. Of course, you know Daniel. And he was guest number one on this show
Okay.
years ago. And so now I think you are episode number 320 something. And so it's been many years of just getting different people to come on and talk about this thing you're passionate about, which is ODR. But from your vantage point where you're located in Argentina, you are a pretty big deal when it comes to ODR and AI and conflict resolution down in Latin America, all throughout. And so before we get into the topic, of today, which is a conversation with you about the future of ODR and AI in the world, really, I'd like to just introduce you a little bit. And so what I have for you is, actually my research, is Dr. Alberto Elisavetsky is a globally recognized leader in online dispute resolution, or ODR. He is the founder and president of ODR Latinoamérica, an organization promoting the use of technologies in conflict resolution throughout Latin America. He also directs a social conflict observatory and the postgraduate online dispute resolution program at the National University of 3 de Febrero in Argentina. And you've authored several publications on mediation and technology. And one of your notable projects is Negotiator One, an AI agent for negotiation training and mediation and any kind of conflict resolution. So we're going to talk about that today, and then also find out what you're working on, because it seems every day, but every week you are publishing something new on LinkedIn and Facebook, and my feed is full of different information. So definitely follow Alberto on LinkedIn. I mean, you have thousands of followers to keep up to date on what is going on in the world of ODR, especially down in Latin America. I will share my screen to let people, see some of the publications you've written, as well as your social media. But with that, I'd like to just let you talk a little bit about yourself, just for a couple minutes, maybe something people might not know about you, going into the past. But what I have here on my screen is your LinkedIn, of course, which is very informative, and the Congreso sobre Métodos, now I'm probably butchering the Spanish, of course,
Okay.
where people can go and they can find everything they need to know about ODR in Latin America. It's mainly in Spanish, but of course you can translate it with Google.
By the way, well, we are, as you said, we are involved in several projects. We have a nice team in my university,
Hmm.
and I have a nice team in Latin America. We are working in online dispute resolution from, I don't know, we create ODR Latin America in 2006 informally.
Okay.
And at that time, I proposed the dean of my university to create uh, a distant center of conflict resolution. And the day that my university said, no, we are not planning to create a virtual mediation center, I create ODR Latin America network, specifically because I found Ethan Cash, Dan Rainey, Colin Rule, Leah Wing, and a lot of friends uh, saying in the web that is possible to mediate online. I decided that if these people was saying that it's possible to mediate online, this could be the future of, as you said before, shaping the future. No?
Yeah.
And ODR Latin America went from one failure to the other failure every year because mediator didn't even want to think about the possibility to mediate online. All the issues, the paraverbal, the verbality, the paraverbal relationship, the hands, if someone is crying, well, you know.
Yep.
And basically, I was organizing several cyber weeks with the center of the Massachusetts University. Once a year was a free event, and I organized the Spanish speakers area. I received some prohibitions at some university to talk about ODR, like in the past with the witches. Exactly the same. You are allowed to talk whatever you want, less ODR. This
Got
is
it.
a fantasy. This is impossible. You are crazy.
What year is this? Roughly.
2012,
Okay.
2013. In 2012, I create, together with the Minister of Justice of Salta, which is a province in the north of Argentina, the first pilot program of online dispute resolution, with a regulation generated by the Minister of Justice allowing co-mediation online. Co-mediation online. It's a huge country with a very difficult in communication.
Yeah.
The highways are broken. There are no good paths to reach one place to the other. And they started with a community mediation program. And the mediation online was performed in one center, in one mediation center belonging to the government. It was sitting the mediator and the party walk in and sit down at his size. And in other place of the province, which is you call states, we have provinces, the same. The mediator handled the technology. At that time, we would have been using a technology from India, a platform called Dim. And this platform, some years later, was sold to Salesforce.
Okay.
And we lost our platform because at that time there were no Zoom.
Yep.
That was 2012.
Yep.
Well, we start doing this. It was working well. They start doing mediation with other provinces, and all of a sudden we have the pandemic. We continue working all this period, and we enrich our audience, and we had some people start learning and request training from our side in order to start thinking the possibility to mediate online for several reasons: cost, distance.
They had no choice at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, for example, I wrote an article which is published in mediate.com about online mediation as a bridge of social inclusion.
Okay.
Why? Because the way that we look at online mediation is not for the people who has the last iPhone.
Mhm.
Okay, is when someone lives 200 kilometers or 160 miles or 300 miles for the mediation center, he has to request permission in the factory where he works as a blue collar in order to go 300 kilometers to have a mediation, perhaps with her ex-wife, lose the day, lose the payment, lose time, paying the transportation. And that's why we start talking about facilitate the people with less income the possibility to have a mediation service without moving him from the place where he's working or living. And that was the first idea. In 2017, we create the MEL. It's an electronic mediation online services.
Yeah, I see
With
your article.
ah,
I see your article in 2016. Yeah, so you were definitely a forward thinker 11 years ago, 9 years ago on this topic.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know this existed.
yeah. And we create a program
Hmm.
jointly with the government of Buenos Aires City, the city hall,
Yes.
uh, with this online mediation. Okay, for the citizen, it was a free services. Buenos Aires is a city with 3 million inhabitants plus 8 millions who walk in and out every day
I
from
see.
Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Uh, in a very particular situation, and we start with them June 1st, 2017. It was the unique organization, I think probably in the entire world, prepared to fight the COVID with online mediation.
Hmm.
Because all the staff was trained. At that time, they were doing 30% of the mediations online and 70 face to face. When the COVID arise,
Yeah,
they just move it to 100% online.
got it.
And this is a public policy free for the citizens.
Hmm. So
Okay?
everybody was ready to go.
Yeah. I don't think that any organization in the world was prepared for this situation.
Yeah, no, I
Of
agree.
course, in case of emergency, broke the glass and everybody took Zoom
Yep.
from under the table and put it without knowing what are the pros and contras, the benefits or the problems that the use of Zoom could generate. Why? Because the people was so confused about this situation.
Hmm.
They don't understand that Zoom was just a platform to do a business meeting or
Hmm.
to teach, not for mediation, because it's just one small part of the mediation.
Yep.
Because you need validation of the identity of the parties, handle the files, the documents in a secure manner, go to the online meeting room, and then you need to sign this agreement or not in one way.
Yep.
At that time, there were no a platform complete
Yep.
where you can go from one door and the exit is the other one.
Yep.
With the pandemic, we developed for the government of one province in Argentina, the biggest one. They already had 3,000 mediators. We registered it. We developed a one-shot program in order to give them the ability to mediate online from the technical point of view and how to handle emotions.
Got it.
Okay, because
Hmm.
we create a protocol. And finally, we received 1,700 students, all lawyers. We create 70 classrooms with 100 participants in each one, and we generate a full course for 2 months,
Mm.
going from the beginning at the end, in order to be prepared to mediate online immediately.
Got it.
And we did it from ODR Latinoamérica. And also, at the beginning of the pandemic, we trained all the labor mediation from the government in Spain in order to cope with the strikes and the conflict that arise when the, let's say, social restrictions were imposed.
Yeah.
That's why we have two emblema operation with the labor mediation in Spain, with this huge group of mediators in Argentina, in the Buenos Aires province, and we start training all over the Latin America and Spain, different group of mediators, different organizations in online mediation. We teach in a year and a half more or less 3,000 mediators.
Yeah. Well, this leads to a question. There was so much going on in Latin America, with you and all your colleagues. Most of us here in the US had no idea. I had no idea. I heard about you and what you were doing, but I didn't know how big of a deal, how prepared you guys all were. So it's, I guess many of us here are very, American centric, and we see things from a very American perspective.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's basically when I was speaking about us in 2012 in Stanford at the
Hmm.
Peace University in New York. But usually when the panel started, I'm the last one, or I'm the one that it's too much for this panel. We have to cut your presentation. It's always that's why I don't care
I
about.
apologize.
No, no, no. But it's not from one person in general.
Yeah.
Okay, why? Because people from developing countries,
Yeah.
in general, don't pay attention what's going on in underdeveloping countries.
Mm.
I know what's going on, and it's
Yeah.
happened to me. No, I start talking 5 minutes and say, "Okay, we are out of time." Even though if I sit in the beginning of the panel, or at the end of the panel, or in the middle of the panel, what's going on in Latin America, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, but it's a fact. I think, I'm sure we have a lot of things to teach, to share at least, not to teach. Let's say about that we have to, because we have real life experiences.
Correct.
The same situation is going on with uh, mediation and artificial intelligence. I
Hmm.
saw a lot of courses floating around, very expensive courses, very expensive. The mediators or negotiators, they don't need to be experts in artificial intelligence. Huh? They don't have to be software engineering. They just have to be friendly users. And that's why we create, as you said before, Negotiator One,
Yeah.
which is an artificial intelligence personalized agent, very, very useful and concrete for mediator and negotiation. They just have to be into the environment and start using. There are no, of course, we give some ideas what's going on with the prompt, what they should know, because the issue that we said is the artificial intelligence will not replace our job.
Yeah.
We will replace for a mediators
Don't.
who knows how to deal with artificial intelligence. That's
Correct.
the issue.
Correct.
And with this prototype, we are giving to all our students in our monthly basis courses regarding, we have a course certified for the Minister of Justice, which is part of the course is online dispute resolution in general, all the platforms that floating around, and part of the course is AI applied to mediation and negotiation with this Negotiator One, and we present our prototype in a concourse of Banco Interamericano de Desarrollo and a justice laboratory here in Argentina. And among 120 projects submitted, 67 were approved to reach the end of the, let's say, the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been one of the startups or service provider winners, and we will receive in a few days funding directly from the Inter-American Development Bank to develop for the first mediation center of one judiciary power in Argentina, this Negotiator One transform in the name is MEJU, M-A-U, which means electronic judicial mediation for the Corrientes province. Starting from our Negotiator One and adapting. Why? Because we will feed this agent with the mediation Corrientes law in order to send the agent just to walk through the law applied to this territory and the model of mediation that they wanted. They don't want, for example, Harvard. They want transformative mediation. And our friend Joseph Folger, well, that's what we have to do. We have to adapt this negotiator to the requirements of this mediation center belonging to the justice in the Corrientes province.
Yes.
Let's say to mark the borders and to tell the artificial intelligence only walk in this territory with this information, not to go to other places to find other information. Sorry, it was too long the explanation, but
no. So I'm familiar. I did a little bit of reading up on this. So I think it's MEJU One, MEJU AI. All right, and
MEJU AI. Yes.
Yeah, and the province is called Corrientes. Yes, and so basically you are having a jurisdiction-specific AI assistant tool to help make sure that the mediations that are happening are going to only consider the statutes, laws, and whatever that local at.
In order to apply your project, you should be chosen with one judiciary power. And
Got it.
Corrientes select ODR Latinoamérica to be the partner.
I understand. Okay.
But when we finish this project, we have the compromise to do exactly the same in a second province in Argentina, which is just family mediation. This agent should be transformed in a family mediation artificial intelligence agent because it's for an area which is family mediation in Neuquén province.
Got it. So there's a lot of things you're working on, and just briefly, and I'm going to take people back to your LinkedIn where you post all this, and so it's the best place, in my opinion, for people to go to follow up with all the different projects you're working on. So in this month, in August, okay, you are working with, and the organization is called SynCalp, and you are doing a training with IMI.
We are doing. We just a few months ago received authorization from IMI in order to be allowed to train in a CMTP, which is Certified Mediator Training Program. It's a program in order to allow the ones who pass the course and do the assessments to be listed in the web of the International Mediation Institute.
Got it.
It's in order to gain international recognition. That's what we are doing, and this is our first experience to teach in English.
Okay.
For
Well, that'll be
example, our
exciting.
common friend Dan Rainey, will be
Yeah.
one of the teachers.
Yes. So that's August. And then in October, there's going to be Tijuana. And can you talk about that a little bit?
Tijuana in Mexico, we will have an event face to face and online. And with our representative, because we have one friend or fellow, one colleague, we have 14 representation in Latin America and Spain. Basically, Spanish we have in Spain, in Mexico, in Peru, in Colombia. Well, all Latin America, we have one representative. And in this case, we are doing this activity jointly with our representation in Mexico, ODR Mexico.
Got it. Also, you have a Brazil event coming up, although I don't have that on my screen, but could you talk briefly about that?
Yeah, October 23 with CS Views, which is one of the leading trainers in Brazil. We will have a full day of mediation. And part of the program will be teaching how to use Negotiator One with my presentation.
Got it. And I understand that there's going to be a pretty big conference happening in Mexico, in Guadalajara, sometime in 2026. I'm
Yeah,
trying to actually pull that up if I can find it on your page real fast. But could you speak about that? Because that's going to be a pretty amazing event. And then when we finish that, we'll talk about Expo Tech.
we have a partnership with International Forum of Professional Mediators. We are running a face-to-face, only a face-to-face conference from 2016. Okay, this is 3 times in Spain, each 2 years.
Okay.
2024 was in Argentina. It was led by me,
Okay.
jointly with Javier Ales Scioli. He is the president of the International Mediation Forum, and Alicia Millán is the
Hmm.
Argentine ambassador of this FIMEP forum. And now
Got it.
we agree with hija. Hija means el Alternative Justice Institute of Guadalajara, Mexico, belonging to the government, that will be the local host. Okay? And hija plus FIMEP plus ODR Latinoamérica are
Hmm.
running this event by the end of May, that we are planning we will have probably around 500 participants.
Well,
In Argentina, we had more or less these figures, and we have mediator from 25 countries.
well, tell me, if you are a non-Spanish speaker, what's the best way to participate in these events?
Be in your place.
Learn
Oh,
Spanish.
no, you can use this.
Awesome. So you guys
This
provide
is
that?
a simultaneous, no, $40. This a headset with
Yeah.
simultaneous translation from
All right.
Spanish to English.
Yes, yes. I use my phone mainly for a lot of that, but I'll check that out. Thank you so much for that.
Now, I think it's a good idea. First, do some Duolingo before go to before go to Mexico,
Yeah.
and you know, people who wants to communicate, you communicate. The problem is, it's not. There are no plans to have a simultaneous translation,
Okay.
because basically there are no Spanish speaker attending the conference. That's why. Uh, but it's an excellent place to know people, because
Exactly.
everybody wants to talk with
Yes.
everybody.
Yes,
We
and we're
have a
all
network section.
Well, it's great to network with people around the world on this topic because we all have that one thing in common, which is conflict resolution. And it doesn't matter where you are. And then finally, there's Expo Tech, of course. And now, and after we do Expo Tech, we'll talk about some of your other publications in your books in the library. But Expo Tech is, of course, the annual event that you host. And this past year, I had an amazing opportunity to participate on the Expo Tech campus virtually. And so me, Dan, and people all over the world, mainly Spanish speakers, got a chance to come and share their expertise when it comes to AI and just anything on legal tech and ODR. So can you talk briefly about Expo Tech and when it might happen in 2026? Because this past year was spring 2025. And just share
Yeah,
with us what it is.
we will do by the end of 2026 another ODR Expotech. It's a fully online event.
Yes.
At the beginning of the Expotech, nobody from Latin America want to make presentations because there were no knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
There were no knowledge about this. And okay, now we have, for example, I teach one subject in the program that I work at my university. I teach during one semester online dispute resolution as part of the under degree program
Yes.
in mediation and conflict resolution that we have at my university. Then I start teaching face to face because we have students coming physically to the university, or we have a lot of students online because we have two degrees. One is only face to face, and one is only online. There are
Got it.
different courses. It's around 1,600 hours in order to be to get your degree in which is an university degree before the postgraduate program in order to be mediator and conciliator. And from 3 years more or less, we have been authorized for the education ministry to include online dispute resolution in the basic curriculum. And now we are teaching on a semester basis online dispute resolution. Now I have a lot of students, a lot of graduates, and most of them are capable to present their own point of view or search about some item and use it for their essays because they have to prepare an essay when finish the degree.
Got it.
And well, we are evangelizing about
Yes.
ODR in Latin America.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
word.
Well, and if people want to learn more, of course, you have written a lot about this. I'm not sure if these are your publications or are these others
Now,
as well.
this I have two books which are not shown here because
Okay.
belong to other editorial, uh, and we create last year our ODR Latin America publishing company
Got it.
in order to allow mediators to publish easily their books.
Got it.
Some of them I participate. For example, the last one, it's negotiate with machine. No, negotiate with machines, mediate with humans. That's the name of the last book, which is in blue in the
This one
corner,
right
and
here.
I'm the director. And this is a consequence of the ODR Expotech 2025. All of the participants, which you are here, contribute with their chapter. They are
Okay.
participants of ODR Expotech 2025.
I see. I see. So this is
It's
available.
technology,
Yeah.
AI, and a new view of conflict resolution.
Got it. Okay, so a lot of very valuable information, but the main website they can go to is, of course, ODR Latinoamérica, and that's odrla.com. Okay, and the best place to follow you, of course, is your LinkedIn, where you have published all these different events that are going to be happening from SEMCAL to Guadalajara, and then Expo Tech next year.
Hold on, I go up a little bit. Show
Yes.
Negotiator One a little bit up.
Oh, yep, I
Okay.
saw that.
This is the modification that we did in Negotiator One,
Okay,
and now you can walk in and mediate or negotiate English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
got it.
This is the access.
Well, it's very important because sometimes you have conflict between people of different languages.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's very helpful.
Awesome. All right. So in the last couple minutes we have left, just what are your thoughts when it comes to the future of ODR in Latin America and in the world?
Let's talk about the problem. First the problem. After that, what could be the future? Fantastic. What I think, basically, the online mediation will be transformed from mediate in real time and will transform to text mediation plus artificial intelligence. From the point of view of the money, put it in the pocket of the mediators. Because when they took the Zoom
Yep.
under the table and start mediating the same way,
Mhm.
they didn't solve the problem of adjust agendas. For example, you and me trying to organize the agenda for this session where we both agree and we don't have a conflict. It
Yep.
was difficult, at least.
Mhm.
Think of a mediator who has to mediate the whole day online, organization agenda with lawyers and party for the full day. It's a huge problem. And
Yeah.
this problem goes directly for less income. I think mediation in this 21st century
Mhm.
will move to text mediation or asynchronous mediation,
Yes,
not to
asynchronous.
continue with the other online. That's
Yeah.
in the future what I see. The other problem are governments
Mhm.
and mediators. Basically, because at least as far as I know, in Latin America, the governments or the judiciary powers, I'm not, they are not taking care of protect their citizens' data. Why? Because the citizen data is going through Zoom, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
a platform to belong to the owner, not to the governments and the local servers.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem that I see while we continue doing mediation online in platforms that not belong to the government, because today the responsibility, following the recommendation of the International Council for Online Dispute Resolution, is you. If you offer a platform to mediate, you are ODR service provider, disregarding where you rent your platform. And you cannot take responsibility what's going on inside the platform because it's not your platform.
Mhm.
But this is a long story for a long
Yeah.
conversation.
It would be a
This is
fascinating conversation actually on that issue. So, Dr. Alberto Elisavetsky, thank you so much for coming on the LMI podcast.